So in the last video, if you saw some of the results that I gathered, that I helped create for Arcana here, we could see the dramatic increase in form submissions. So more bookings going directly to their website. It's a dramatic increase over the course of 4 months here. And Arcana, this website here, Arcana International, which is a client, needed a lot of work. So they didn't have anything done in terms of SEO for the most part, meaning they needed an in-depth strategy to really get results. So if you want to learn how this company went from 20 bookings on average per month to just about 200 bookings per month using SEO, then stick around till the end and I'll give you guys a quick crash course on how I was able to achieve that using SEO. But basically, to keep things brief here, people say, most websites need on-page, off-page, technical, and building out content and new pages to be successful in SEO. But what does that really mean, right? Because a lot of websites have keywords, a lot of websites have blogs, a lot of websites have different pages that they're targeting. Most people know that they need to build out service pages if they have a brick and mortar store, or that they need, besides service pages, maybe it's a location specific service page, or basically money pages that drive results. But when you break it down, there's a lot of steps that need to happen before you get to that point, before you can start seeing some dramatic growth like this and counting, right? This was for last month. And so it's there's a lot of work here that needs to happen. So if we put August 1st, if I could spell, I'm gonna do August 30th, 31st, 25. Yeah, so that's what it was before. And then when we look at the last 30 days, that's some of the growth there. But over 600%. So regardless, every page here needed to be optimized. And to do that, we used my approach here, which is my slide deck. Basically, here's my unique value proposition, why companies prefer working with me over a competitor, is that I help high-ticket psychedelic and wellness and hospitality brands grow their visibility, lower CAC, customer acquisition cost, and stay compliant using a 4-step SEO system to help so your transformational products and services can reach more people, improve lives, and scale without risks of bans and algorithmic penalties, which in the psychedelic space, like cannabis or other plant medicines, it's a big deal. You don't want to have all your marketing efforts go to waste because you made a claim that shouldn't be there, or you didn't put any disclaimers, right? So in summary, we tackled Arcana's SEO using this 4 sprints approach. And to be frank, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done in local. So even without optimizing the local side of the SEO for this website, which we're working on, we could still see some dramatic results coming in just with strategy, content, and building backlinks to this page. And so I'll let you kind of read over it here, but in summary, I performed a website audit and I built a strategy. Once I uncovered all the roadblocks on the website, I tackled the easy wins. I made sure to set up the analytics, because without setting up proper analytics, you don't know what kind of benchmarks you have for the starting point to track the growth, right? To see what kind of results hiring someone like me would help you with. And then from there, I built out a 6-month roadmap. There's some of the pricing there, but every website's custom, so are the prices. And I really like this little graphic here. But then from there, we worked on the content side of things, so building out new pages, hyper-targeting, location intent, and then building out new pages that map back directly to the services that they offer. And I'll show you a slide deck of what that looks like right now in relation to what kind of topics to cover. And I'll show you Arcanas as well. And then from there, we want to build backlinks. So we could see here, for my current subscribers that that know SEO, you know exactly what building backlinks is all about. But for those of you that don't know or are new to this channel, That just means making a list of prospects who might be a good fit for us to reach out and to get a backlink mention. So basically, we want someone linking to our site. So this link here, we want someone talking about it, and then linking to either our service pages, our homepage, or any other page, to help us get more sales that map back directly to this, if you can believe that. So basically that means performing a promotional sprint, so auditing the existing backlinks that are pointing to that website, cleaning up the backlinks that are not relevant or that are hurting our performance, and then building new backlinks by reaching out to new people. And oftentimes people will backlink to your website if you build new content pages for them, and in exchange they'll link to our site. And there'll be resources for those of you that don't know what backlinks are, business owners. And then from there, we did some light work on the local side of things to generate some results. And you can see here what that means, right? You show up where your ideal customers are searching. You dominate searches for terms like best service in your city, a strong local authority, and so that more customers can find you and buy your services or products. And this applies to worldwide. So it doesn't matter if you're in the UK, Australia, South America, Mexico, US. These techniques and strategies apply because I've done them for clients based out of Australia, based out of the UK, Mexico, and now South America and North America. So this works worldwide. And then you can see some of the results here gathered for this client here, Slumber. And then I'll link to this below, so I won't bore you guys with some of the extra fluff. But we could see here that when we started the campaign, it was around May 19th. A lot of the work that needed to be done, right? So this is the internal due date for myself. So for whenever I needed to complete the tasks, that's me. The delivery date for the client, once I verified everything, I sent it to the client. Client is right there, Arcana. So this website here. And then the deliverable that needed to be performed, right? So what am I delivering? And then there's a lot of different technical things here, on-page related, content related. I'll let you guys read through some of these things here. But yeah, we could see I built some backlinks to these websites here. So if we click on some of these, this is the direct URL. But we could see this is what a backlink is in terms of what it actually looks like. So if someone writes a blog content and they link directly back to your website so that we could funnel people to buy our products and services, right? So they might go here, they might go here, they might book a retreat and then book now, right? Which is part of the process, and then fill out the rest. You get the idea, but that was part of the success that was required to generate results. And then you could see a lot of different things here that was included. Like for example, I believe this is another tool that I used here, but we can kind of get an idea of what a content brief looks like when we need to build a new page or when we need to rewrite a page that's underperforming. And we can see here, I built out a content brief, which means I audited this page here, which was underperforming in Google Search Console and Google Analytics. And I made the determination to say, we need to expand this content to boost its rankings in search. Because when you look it up, we don't see Arcana here, not on the first page, which is where most of the traffic is. It's in the third page. So this page is underperforming here. It's pretty good for the most part, but we just need to beef it out a little bit more. And you could see I built out this sample content brief. You could see the word count for writers, how long this page should be, when's the publish date, and then some information about the brand. Why is it unique? Well, it offers a 3-plant medicine approach. What kind of page it is. It's more of a resource guide, but generally this hits the mark. It's also informational. What the goal is of the page. So there's a lot of things that need to be done so that this page here performs in search. There's a lot of research We could see some of the competitors I listed here, this being one of the bigger ones here. And we basically want to outperform them. We want to outperform this other competitor here, which they're not too strong to beat. And then we could see the different resources that people link to. Regardless, so basically we could see the current existing page title, an optimized page title, same thing for the meta description, what the URL should be. So if we go to the sitemap, we could see dieta. Currently it just says ayahuasca diet, and I just said let's make a dieta because there's also a dieta keyword here, which in Spanish is pronounced dieta. Some of these supporting keywords to use, and then some of the framing keywords that'll support the content to rank high in search. And then what's neat about this tool here is that you could do a SERP analysis, search engine result pages, and you could see what would pop up in Google search results on this side here versus having to look it up manually. And you can get some ideas for what headings to build out. And then they've got this neat little tab here for informational gain. You can see what kind of questions are being asked, stats, news, wiki. But to be frank, I also use Google search results to see what's popping up. So I'll also do ayahuasca just to confirm, just to see if I can get any new information and expand on these and copy some of these and, include better answers, in other words. Beyond that, we can actually see this into effect. So everything denoted in yellow are some of the changes that should be made so that we can have higher performing content in search. For the most part, I kept this pretty brief. Since this is a good page already, we just want to make some minor adjustments to it. So something I noticed was people want some, some dietary guidelines. Not a diet, but some guidelines in terms of what kind of new recipes are there. People are curious to know, like, what does a day in the life look like to have, breakfast, lunch, and dinner when someone follows this dieta? And so that's exactly what I wrote down here. Like, people are curious about some practical examples of what a day in the life would look like if someone were to follow a dieta. Again, we're not giving them a diet here. This is not dietary advice, the disclaimer here. It's just like an example of what could be, not what should be. So I just thought, like, okay, well, none of the competitors are writing about what are some breakfast options, lunch and dinner options. Let's talk about some of the science here just to make sure that we don't get penalized in search. So we want to be the authority in the space so that people know, like, we know what we're talking about, right? And you can see some of the content brief recommendations that I've made there. And then another easy thing that we could do is just beef out the frequently asked questions section here, include this new section that will complement the existing copy, because we can also rank and search for some of these snippet questions, which is what they're called. People also ask questions section, and drive additional traffic, which will lead to more conversions, right? So we're doing everything possible here to drive results, right? So this is the work effort that it takes. That's just one page. But there's a lot more as well. And we could see here, like, another example, some of the traditional people there, which are known as Shipibo people, that facilitate some of this plant medicine to, help heal people, help them with depression, anxiety, and everything alike there. Some of the things that we should include to really beef out this page and outperform the competitors so that we're the ones driving in an additional 500 people every single month to our site versus the competitors, alongside these other keywords, which will also drive traffic. In addition to that, here, there's a lot of work here that needed to be done, but basically, again, I believe we finished this around August here. May, June, July and August. There was a lot of work that needed to be done. I believe I also did this Google Business Profile audit here. And then you could see some of the things that it was doing well and some of the things that it was not. But that's that. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, like building citations, which is why when I showed you guys that presentation deck in the beginning, we're covering all our bases here, but there's still a ton of work that needs to be done. And then you can see what's to come in the remaining months here. But it's basically, we focused on optimizing every single page here so that we could drive results. Let's see what else I'd like to cover here. Yeah, in addition to that, all these page titles here, the descriptions were optimized. So if we do a crawl of the site, that's optimized. So we could see that in order to drive more people to the web pages, right, to all the pages that exist in Arcana International, we wanted to improve the click-through rate so that we could get more people buying and submitting form submissions to the site, right? And we could see the pages that we optimized here, that optimized the current existing title, what it should be, what it used to be, current description, the updated description, H1, so the header 1, and then the new recommended header 1. So even like small tweaks go a long way. So this used to be your retreat, and I said let's make it your retreat for the H1. So it went from your retreat to book your retreat today to add urgency. So things like this can be, this is in the mobile view, so this looks different. Let's see here, let's make this the laptop view. So things like this, we can easily swap out for what it used to be. So for example, that didn't used to be there. But I figured, you know what, this looks kind of bland. And it doesn't make me want to scroll down to the rest of the page here. In addition to that, having some testimonials or videos could help even on this page here, which I identified that we were losing some traffic here. To this page here, there was less engagement rates, but yeah, you can kind of get an idea of some of the things that I mentioned here. This used to say retreat locations, and we said, you know what, let's do it like this. Let's add sacred retreat locations to the locations page. So instead of it just saying retreat locations, I added this here. Help me choose my retreat. A new image here was added. Find your ideal retreat. So small tweaks like that go a long way. So you can imagine all the work that was done here at a page level from a technical perspective, on page, building out new content pages, optimizing the existing pages here for the blog content. So there's a lot of work that needed to happen, but that is basically it. So if you're a retreat center or health and wellness website and you don't have an in-depth strategy like this one, then be sure to book a call with me so we can talk about your website, or if you want it audited, then I recommend that, because a lot of the competitors that I saw are underperforming because they don't have a thorough process like this one here. And yeah, even internal linking could help you go a long way, because you could funnel people to different pages, right? So for those of you that don't know what internal linking is, that just means, let's see what's a good example here. That just means including a little hyperlink that goes to a new page. A hyperlink is just like a link that people can click on, and it takes them to a new page. Ideally, you want to use an exact match keyword for the page that you're targeting. So if I want to go to the Dieta page, I'm going to make sure that the internal link is such that it matches this page, and it opens up on a new tab, preferably. So that's pretty much, obviously there's a lot more work that went into this here, but I'm not going to bore you guys with all the details here because there's just a lot to cover. So, if you'd like to chat more about how I got this, the results that I gathered, that I created for this company here, then, leave a comment below. What was your favorite part, or what you'd like to see more of? And I'll try my best to make content related to that. But yeah, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll share more tips like this one.